Which one will win? Water, representing anything healthy and good for you. Celsius, representing anything full of sugar.
Packaged, laziness, all of the things that are not good for you.
There's always this crazy tension between, do I want the thing that tastes good going down my throat, or do I want the thing that feels good if I keep on drinking it and drinking it and drinking it? Hey, my name is Darz. Welcome here on this channel. We are learning and growing, expanding that comfort zone, which means doing a lot of this tug of war, choosing what's right over what's not as right, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because without discomfort, there isn't growth, is there? Well, maybe sometimes there's growth without discomfort, but for the most part, when there's discomfort, there's also growth. Unless your back just hurts all the time, then it's probably not growth, it's just something else. But eventually, when the back pain is gone, then there will have been growth, right? Hopefully. Anyway, I bought this Celsius in anticipation for a drive that I'm going to be taking pretty soonish. Thankfully, it's just sitting in my fridge and it's not tempting me at all. But I mean, just the fact that I bought it, I could have not bought it. Anyway, last week, I wanted to do like no added sugar throughout the week, and let me tell you, my results. It is amazing, and I've heard this repeated between different random conversations and people that I talk to in situations where it's like, tastes good going down, but doesn't taste so good once it's down, you know? There are so many things in life that when they taste good in the moment or they feel good in the moment, those are the things that you don't feel as good about later on. But the things that don't necessarily taste as good, like lettuce or salads or water in the moment, they're the things that are going to make you feel better as you keep them consistent in your diet, in your life, in your regular habits. You're going to have better overall health and longevity. Okay, so let me just start with the fact that I had 4 days out of 7 that I had no added sugar. One day was a random, I like took a handful of M&Ms and popped them into my mouth, and I was like, oh shoot, I wasn't supposed to eat sugar, and proceeded to chew them up and swallow them. Another day was literally everybody was going through the line having some ice cream and candy bars, and I just went through the line with my kids and grabbed them myself and started eating them, and then I was like, oh, oops. These things have been such habits for me in certain situations that I just go ahead and do it without even thinking. So like, the first thing about breaking the distance and the tension and the decision between these two is literally just realizing that it's happening in the first place. There has to be some sort of recognition that this thing is going into my mouth and it's not what I want to be going into my mouth based on my future goals. Another thing that happened to me was literally what I was talking about the other day, decision fatigue. When you are constantly bombarded with so many choices between this type of thing and this type of thing all day, every day, at some point this is gonna win. It's just gonna. You can't not. Especially when you're in the habit of this over this. And so, like, if people bring donuts to work, it's just like automatically go for it because it's right there in front of you. When you're at a family gathering and people bring treats, it's just like, just go for it. It's right there. There's no carrot option. There's just desserts. I mean, sometimes there is, but. And when you're so tired of having to make decisions left and right, maybe for your kids, maybe for yourself, maybe for you're trying to work out and you trying to decide what to do, maybe, okay, what do I do next? So many decisions all day long that eventually you just don't even want to decide. And so when this is the easy option, you just go for it. If this is literally the path in front of you and you have to make the decision to turn off the normal path to get to this path, that's a big decision. And it's a big veering and it's a lot of energy to move this way instead of this way. So I learned all that this week when I was trying to go 7 days. 7 days is not that long. 7 days with no added sugar. Not that long. But because of all these things working against me, not in my favor, I ended up with 4 days out of 7. It's decent. It's okay. It's all right. It's a start. It's better than 0 days of no added sugar. It's better than having sugar every single day. So that's a start. And let me just say, I want to try this again next week. And now that I have a starting point and I know I failed 4 days, 3 days out of 7, I'm going to try again. And this time I'm just going to say at least 4 days. If I do 4 days, I'm winning. If I do 5 days, I'm winning even more. But like, come on, 7 days? Not that hard. Honestly, this is going to end up going down my throat one of these days. So I already know that day is going to be a... But also, just because you do one oopsies in a day doesn't mean the rest of the day is just completely gone down the drain. So let me put that in my notes. 4 days, no added sugar. Gosh, 4 days, not that hard. Ugh. Okay, the next thing I did was rewrote my this is so sad. I should like redo this. But it's also like a fun memory of why I did this, but also like it's ripped, man. It's ripped. Yeah, I rewrote my checklist of goals into lifestyle type of stuff that will help me continue. These are like my compass to stay on the right track of where I think I want to be. And of course, these are, you know, you kind of iterate as you go, but I'm glad I did take the time to sit down and think about these things. So that was interesting and fun for me to do this. And maybe I'll do a whole video on that goal stuff. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. And maybe I'll still do it whether or not you say you want it. Because guys, I've been having crickets. Comment. It's free. It helps grow my channel. It helps tell YouTube that people are interested in what's happening here. So thank you. Then my intentional thinking. 3 times. 3 little measly times. Intentional thinking. Isn't that crazy? Back in the day, we didn't have time to even think about the fact that we need to spend time thinking. It was like, we gotta chop firewood and we gotta keep the fire going and we gotta wash clothes by hand and we gotta follow the deer and we gotta butcher the deer and we gotta salt it and preserve some fruit in the summer and like all these things that are constantly trying to make sure that we can survive. We didn't have earbuds in our ears 24/7, which is part of my problem, I think, with why I wanted to do this intentional thinking time was, first of all, I have my kids around me quite often. Like if I'm not working, I'm pretty much with my kids. So they're a little, you know, they love to talk and talk and talk and talk, of course. Other than that, I usually am listening to something or I'm watching something or I'm reading something. I've been reading more. It's a lot of constant consuming and listening and hearing and not shutting off thoughts. So I'm trying to get better at zoning in on just listening to the environment. So anyway, I went for a couple of walks alone, which was at work, just, you know, I'm like on my lunch break or when I need a little fresh air. No headphones, which generally when I've done walks at work, I do listen to something. So my brain just hasn't had time to really like catch up and process and think about things and just shut off for a minute. Like just let any thoughts come up from anywhere instead of constantly feeding it stuff, right? And then I also did a stretching session at home. No music, no nothing. Again, usually I listen to music or whatever when I'm working out, but I just did a quiet, chill stretch session. Honestly, my kids were kind of in and out. They were a little bit occupied, but they kept also asking me stuff. So maybe that one doesn't really count, but I counted it. So I want to expand this into something more because I think it was good and I can do better. One thing I like about this weekly thing is that I can come back and audit my week and how I did. And I guess I haven't been always really great at just continuing on something if I didn't do it super well. Sometimes I just leave things to the wayside or whatever. You try different things, you stick with what you like, you get better at it. So I'm gonna say three times again. Honestly, just being intentional about like, okay, I need to shut things off sometimes. I think that was really good for me. So I'm gonna call it quiet times. 4 days and no added sugar. 3 quiet time sessions. And okay, goals, reading, books, crafts, outside. Honestly, I think that's gonna be it for this week. I kind of have a lot on my plate this week. It's gonna be busy. Also have a friend in town that I'm planning on visiting. So, like I said, it is a season. Things will soon be transitioning again. School's gonna be starting again and it's a season. Seasons change. So that is all I got this week. Let me know what y'all are up to. If you did no added sugar, how did you do? Man, I'm so thirsty. No, I'm kidding. I never drink these at night because is that crazy? I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for being here.